Welcome to Practice English Conversations. Are you ready to practice your English and become more fluent? Let's get started.
Hi, Ben. How are you today?
Hi, Alice. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Today, I want to talk about the news. I like to know what is happening in our city and around the world. What do you think about current events?
I think news is very important. It helps me know what is going on in my community and in other countries. I watch the news every day.
Me too. I often read news on my phone in the morning. Sometimes I also watch news on TV in the evening.
That is a good habit. I like to learn about local news, such as events in our city, and also about international news. It makes me feel connected to the world.
Yes, it is interesting to hear about different events. For example, yesterday I read about a new park opening in our neighborhood. It is a small park, but it has many trees and a playground.
I heard about that too. I think a new park is a good idea. It is a place where families can meet and children can play.
Exactly. I believe local events like that make our community better. Have you read any news about international events recently?
Yes, I have. I read a short article about a new scientific discovery in Europe. They found a new type of energy that may help protect the environment. I think that is very good news for our planet.
That is interesting. New energy ideas can help reduce pollution. I also read about a famous sports event in another country. Many people celebrated a big football match.
I like sports news. It is exciting to see teams from different countries play against each other. I watched a video online of a beautiful goal in the match.
I enjoy watching sports highlights. They show great skills and teamwork. But sometimes, I also worry about some news. For example, I saw a report about a storm coming to a neighboring country.
Yes, I saw that too. The report said that heavy rain and strong wind will affect many people. I feel sad for those who might lose their homes or need help.
It is hard to hear about bad news. I try to help by sharing useful information. For example, the news said that people can go to local centers for help during the storm.
That is very kind of them. I think news can also help us prepare for events. When we know a storm is coming, we can take care of our family and home.
Exactly. News can be a guide for safety. I always check the weather forecast on my news app. It tells me if it is going to rain or be sunny.
I do that too. I want to know if I need an umbrella or a jacket before I leave home.
Besides weather, I also read news about local festivals and events. Last week, there was a small art festival in the city center. Many artists showed their paintings and crafts.
I read about that festival as well. It seems like a fun day. I would like to visit an art festival. I enjoy seeing creative works, and sometimes I even buy a small painting as a memory.
Art festivals are very colorful. I like to see how people from different cultures express themselves through art.
Yes, culture is an important part of the news. Sometimes I read about cultural events and festivals in other countries. It makes me curious about different traditions.
I feel the same way. For example, I recently read about a cultural celebration in India. There were bright colors, dancing, and traditional music. It sounded very joyful.
That reminds me, I read about a film festival in France. Many new movies were shown, and directors talked about their work. I like to see films because they show different stories and ideas.
Films are a great way to learn about a culture. I sometimes watch foreign movies with subtitles. It helps me learn new words and understand different ways of life.
I agree, Alice. Watching movies and reading news both help me understand the world better. Do you follow any specific news channels or websites?
Yes, I follow a few news websites that are easy to understand. I also like to watch a local news channel in the morning. It shows me what is happening in our city, like new projects or community events.
I also follow an international news website. It gives me a clear idea of world events. I like to know what is happening in different parts of the world.
That is very good. Sometimes I compare local news with international news. It helps me see different points of view.
Yes, different sources give different opinions. I try to read more than one source so I can form my own opinion.
It is important to think about the news and not just accept everything. I like to discuss the news with my friends and ask, "What do you think about this event?"
I do that too. When I talk with my family, I ask them their opinion on the news. It makes our conversation more interesting and helps me understand different perspectives.
Sometimes I write a short note about the news in my journal. It helps me remember the important events and my thoughts about them.
Writing is a good habit. I write down key points from the news, like the main events, and how they made me feel. It helps me learn and remember.
Let's talk about one more topic: personal opinions about news. What do you think is the most important news for you, Ben?
For me, the most important news is about health and the environment. I care about the future of our planet, and I try to follow news about new technologies that help reduce pollution.
I feel the same way. I also like news about education and local community projects. It makes me happy to see good things happening in my city.
Yes, local news can be very inspiring. When I read about a new park or a community center, I feel proud of my city.
I also follow news about sports. I enjoy reading about local teams and international tournaments. It makes me excited and gives me a sense of unity with other fans.
Sports news is very lively. I sometimes watch interviews with players and read about their achievements. It motivates me to work hard in my own life.
I think all types of news are important. They help us learn, feel connected, and sometimes even inspire us to take action.
That is very true. News can make us aware of problems and also show us solutions. For example, I read about a project to clean the city's river, and it made me think about how I can help in my own way.
I love that idea. It is good to be informed, and then to use that information to make a difference, even in small ways.
Yes, even if we cannot change the world, we can change our local community by sharing information and helping others.
I sometimes volunteer in local events after reading about them in the news. It is a good way to give back.
Volunteering is a great idea. I would like to help with community projects, like cleaning parks or helping at local festivals.
Our conversation about news makes me realize how important it is to be informed and active in our community.
I agree, Alice. The news is not just about facts, it is about people and ideas. When we share our opinions, we learn more about ourselves and others.
Yes, and talking about the news helps me improve my English too. I learn new words and phrases every day.
Me too, Alice. I write down some new words from the news and try to use them in our conversations.
That is a very good habit. It helps us grow and understand the world better.
I also like to ask questions about the news. For example, I ask, "What do you think about this event?" Or, "How will this news affect our community?"
I ask those questions as well. It makes the news more personal and helps me connect with others who have similar thoughts.
Sometimes I even discuss the news with my teacher or my friends in class. It is interesting to hear different opinions.
I do that too. It helps me see many sides of a story.
Do you have any favorite news stories from the past month, Alice?
Yes, one story that I liked was about a new library opening in our city. The library has many books, computers, and even a small reading room. It is a place for everyone to learn and have fun.
That sounds very good. I remember a story about a new community garden. The garden is very beautiful, and people grow fruits and vegetables together. I think that is a wonderful idea.
I love community gardens. They bring people together and help the environment.
Exactly. Good news like that makes me feel hopeful and proud of my community.
Sometimes the news can be sad too. I read about natural disasters and problems in other countries. It makes me feel sad and want to help.
Yes, I feel sad when I read about disasters. But I also feel that news helps us know what to do if something happens. For example, I read about how to prepare for an earthquake or a storm.
That is important information. It teaches us to be ready and safe.
I think we should all try to help in small ways when we see bad news. Even sharing information can make a difference.
I agree. Even if we cannot solve big problems, we can support each other and our community.
Our conversation today reminds me that news is a big part of life. It can make us feel many things: happy, sad, excited, and thoughtful.
Yes, and it is important to stay informed and share our ideas. I believe that by talking about the news, we become more aware and caring people.
I agree completely, Alice. Thank you for this long conversation about current events and news. It helps me see the world in a better light.
Thank you, Ben. I enjoyed our talk very much. I hope we can continue to share news and our opinions with each other in the future.
I promise, Alice. Let's talk again soon about new events and stories. It is very good for our minds and our friendship.
Have a great day, Ben, and enjoy reading the news.
Thank you, Alice. I hope you have a wonderful day too. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye, Ben.
Great job practicing with us today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next English conversation. See you in the next video. Keep practicing and stay confident.